Welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. So, I finally went to the gym today. I think that makes it like the third, fourth time, I don't know, this year. Which is kind of like... Well, to be fair, I'd never gone to the gym at all until like a couple of years back. So, wherever. And just a one freaking session, and you feel exhausted right after it. I've been like drained ever since. But let's get some recording done here. I've actually been recording for the Final Fantasy X LP because I literally put it off for a month since I last recorded for that. I don't know why I'm rambling on about this. Well, I tend to ramble about my other LPs on my other channel. Or even this LP on my other LPs at times. It's just, I'm a very rambling kind of sort of person. I ramble a lot. After the fruits of everyone's labour have been piled into a neat stack on the teacher's desk, he clears his throat to give a little speech. That's it for this trimester, everyone. His voice is pretty loud and way too enthusiastic for it to be genuine. The next meeting is after summer vacations, on the Monday of the first week of the next term. I hope to see everyone there again. Have a nice vacation. Everyone wishes them a nice vacation, Mac, as they file out the door. I stay behind, waiting until the two of us are alone. It's almost dinner time, so I don't have to wait long. Moyer's looking through his paintings, some of which are actually pretty nice. Now, I wonder if I'm coming down with a cold again. I'd be so pissed off if it's like the freaking last time. Because seriously, for days I was just like, can't even move, can't speak without aches, and just like, it's horrible. Rin might outclass everyone else in the art club, but she isn't the only one with talent. Excuse me, teacher. What is it, Nakai? He raises his eyebrows questioningly, smiling widely. It's about Rin. Oh, is something wrong with Tezuka? No, I hesitated for a split second, not certain how to say what I want to say, giving Namai enough time to start blabbering by himself. I saw her a few days ago when I was passing by outside's gallery. She said she'd get one or two more paintings done for the expedition. You know, I think I've been probably pronouncing that word wrong this whole time. I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure that I've probably been pronouncing it with a different kind of, like, meaning in general. So, I need to freaking look up the correct pronunciation, because I'm pretty sure I'm getting pronunciation wrong on that one. But I can't quite remember. I was quite pleased. She's a surprisingly hard worker. I'd always thought she was a bit lazy, doing what she wants instead of the assignments. He seems to notice my anxiety and realize he is digressing, shutting up before finishing the thoughts. But you had something to talk about. What is it? I don't know. She feels detached from everything, as if she can't think of anything but Look it up, just to be certain. Okay, expedition. Because for some reason I'm thinking of a different words. You know, like, let's go on an expedition. Maybe they're pronounced the same, actually. If that's the case, there's another case of the English language having words that sound the same but mean two different things. No wonder why I was confused. Well, isn't that good? She is focused on her painting, as she should be. Yeah, but this is different. It's like she's obsessed. I went to see her and... Have you been bothering her? He cuts in before I finish saying what I meant to say, instantly looking quite irritated. No, I don't think so. I'm just concerned because she stopped coming to school completely. She feels strange, too. Stranger than usual, at the very least. Humbug! This is much more important for her than some lousy math class or physics or whatever. This is exactly why this school is so flexible. They'll give every student a chance to fulfill themselves. Tezuka is a painter, so she should paint, and have an expedition. It is pronounced the same, I think. Expedition, that's what artists do. She should be allowed to concentrate on that, not those other frivolous classes. She should be encouraged. If you think about it, it's really quite obvious. His counter-arguments are not very convincing, but I'm having a hard time trying to make any kind of rebuttal. My grudging silence is interrupted as Hassan Moy turns to shuffle the stack of turned-in assignments on his desk like a deck of cards. I have to say, while we're talking about Tezuka's exhibition, I'm very excited to see how it turns out. She's still so young, yet has such wonderful skill and style. He's talking to the air and the bird to relax the mood that got a bit too negative. I take it that you will be attending. Yeah, I guess so. Well, we'll meet that next. I take that as my cue to leave, and I do, although I'm not happy about it. My message didn't get through, to say the least. You know, back off subject with the Final Fantasy recording. I literally spent freaking most of yesterday editing just 3 parts of that. I mean, man, no wonder why I've been putting it on hold for so long. Editing like that can be a real pain in the ass and time consuming. The day after that, all the missed opportunities and things I should have said come crashing down on me. There's nothing left to do afterwards but brood. Second day, I begin to feel anxious. I start doubting my doubt, and it feels stupid. Especially since I still can't think about anything else than a Rin. Third day, Japanese exam and world history exam. Wait. Is it just because I'm in a different font color? Well, it's all in white, but that one feels brighter for some reason. World history exam, great. The thing I hate most about her is that she can make me feel this awful even though I should be focusing on entirely different stuff right now. Fourth day, math exam. We have a math exam, it goes how it goes, I don't care. Fifth day, Namoy asked me again if I will attend the exhibition opening. I can't say no to him even though I seriously want to. I just don't want to discuss with him anything Rin-related, so it's just better to take the path of least resistance. On the 6th day, the day before the exhibition opening, I find Rin standing in the hallway in front of my room when I return to the dorms after dinner. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? My tone is angrier than I intended. I'm a little disappointed that I was unable to restrain myself, but it can't be helped. Rin just stands there like she just... Oh yeah, I remember now. Like she just happened to coincidentally be standing around here where she has no business being. The way she reacts so cruelly to everything annoys me now. This is not good. It's been 6 days and the sight of her has me boiling. She hasn't even opened her mouth yet. Finished painting. Shouldn't you be at the gallery preparing? They said no. I guess the gallery owner does that part then, getting the painting framed, hung on the walls and whatnot. So, why are you here? Felt like it. This same old stupid pattern emerges again. Me asking her questions to which she replies with answers that don't answer anything, because it's the only other way we can converse. Sounds like a politician. Apart from me listening to her blabbering about whatever, which is a conversation. Is this a play? Are there some unseen roles that we have unknowingly set ourselves into, like a visual novel of some sort, dictating the rules of engagement whenever we see each other, inevitably leading to us hurting each other because they wanted to write a sad tale of some sort? Her nonchalant answers accompanied by even more nonchalant shrugs leave me none the wiser. I guess I should be happy that the exhibition preparations are complete. When I walk into my room, I hear her footsteps following me in. I didn't invite her in. I won't ask her to leave. She claims my bed without asking permission, making me wish that I had taken the time to make it before I left in the morning. Then stands up again as though she sat on hot coals. I half lean against the single corner of my desktop that isn't cluttered with stuff to rest my legs at least a little bit. Rin spends a few moments glancing curiously around my room. It makes me realize that she's never seen it before. For a moment she actually looks like she's concentrating, trying to get everything. This must be the eye for detail that makes her an artist. As the room is small, she quickly runs out of things to look at, but nothing else transpires, allowing the uncomfortable silence to take over the atmosphere. The mood is chilly, to say the least, and both of us are on guard, waiting for the other to make the first move. Of course, Rin would play this game forever, so it has to be me. So, I give up because she's never tried to open conversation, and because it seems that she wants to say something, and I want to get it over with. Why else would she be here if she didn't want to talk? I don't know what to say myself. I want to be angry, but I can't bring myself to yell at her or anything. My voice catches her attention, and she tries to search for words as well, but it seems that she is not entirely certain as to why she's here either. And so Rin simply takes a few steps to close the distance between us, and rises on the tips of her toes to even out the height difference. Wait, it was a bad idea. Maybe you should forget about it and I will too. So reflex and almost as an afterthought, the words no, yes, and maybe simultaneously surface inside my mind. My hand is between her lips and mine, a wall that I raised guard against. Something. Was that him that said it? Was it her that said it? Was it a thought? A bit vague, because we didn't have, the name attached to it to say who's actually speaking. Her breath feels warm against my fingers. The scent of her skin lingers about. The mysterious, indescribable sensation that captures me and draws my eyes deep into hers. The look in her eyes is surprised, quizzical as to why the impudent hand prevented her advances. Her eyes are really big and glistening with moisture, and staring right into my own with a soft gaze that I'm having a hard time to match. Rin's half-open mouth makes her look even more confused. The little sensual way her lips are arching is signaling something completely different. Please, I need you. The words come from her throat as a coarse whisper meant only for me. And I'm still doing it in the monotone, because I've kind of gotten used to her voicing her in that way, bypassing her tongue and teeth without giving them any chance to interrupt. Serious now, they sober me in an instant, and I clumsily flinch back to get a little bit of distance between us, painfully scrubbing against my desk in the process. Scrabbing or screaming, whatever. Maybe it's her choice of words, maybe the way she says it, but something in it puts me off. Something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong again. Need me for what? All the unpleasant feelings emerge again, and I feel my heartbeat suddenly increasing at least tenfold. Rin's eyes go out of focus and back again as her body relaxes from its tense state, and she stands upright again. I don't think I was thinking about anything. Why do you draw patterns in that dust on your night table? There's a word for that kind of thing, but I can't remember. Her remark almost throws me off track, and I glance over her shoulder at the small table next to my bed, but I can't see anything from this distance. So she needs me for nothing specific. Just happened to come by because she thought I'd be glad to see her after she shut me out. No complaint accepted for a week. Completely altruistic motives? Felt like it's bullshit. I can answer myself. Play mind games with her whenever you want, to kiss whenever you want, to ignore whenever you want, to fulfill your whims whenever you want. Is that it? What do you need me for? My voice is sounding very angry again. Well, the way I'm voicing acting it has a bit of an angry feel to it, but it's more of a kind of like, oh, for fuck's sake, are we really doing this shit again, Red? Really? Kind of irritated, but not quite angry. Even to myself. Good, let the hate flow through you. Relax. No, Rin too finally catches the mood, and her curious expression changes instantly to something more uncharacteristic. No, she leaves it at that, her eyes restlessly wandering around, searching the room as if the words she tries to find were written in the tapestries of my walls. Then what? I needed to paint. Paint. Of course, that's what artists do. The words reverberate through my being, beating in my blood over the piercing whistle of my anger. Don't give me that, Rin. I'm not some damn muse of yours, free to play with for the sake of painting. Didn't he say that in the band ending? He's like, okay, he's got to do the same thing, only it's at a later point. I'm not some medium for whatever you aspire to be. I am me. Yes, it's exact word for word. So what if I don't know anything about my future? So, is it like... It depends on the time, I suppose? Because now she's actually finished with her painting. So, I don't know how it would really change. Well, I don't know. We'll see how this develops. There's things I want and things I don't... And things I care about, not... Don't care about. Got it mixed up. But screw up my lines! Even though I can dream of things other than nightmares. I'm yelling, but I'm way past the point of caring about things like that. This dialogue is certainly changing from what I remember it as. Rin looks down at her toes and wiggles them a little melancholy while she takes in my outburst without saying anything to defend herself. Only after I have finished does she try to respond somehow. I can't do anything else, or I can do all sorts of things, but I can't do. It's the same reply. It's the only thing I sort of do properly, most of the time. I understand completely. Art first, everything else second, or thousandth. We've read this exact dialogue before, except it's later in the plot now. What about me? Am I nothing? When I was interested in art, did that make you feel like I was a little interesting for a little while? Tell me, I really want to know. Did you ever think about my perspective, or is it just all you? Words rise like bile in my throat. She looks alarmed and also completely uncomprehending, as if she just doesn't understand what I'm angry about. I can't believe she could be so stupid. I didn't want to. This time it's Rin who interrupts herself in mid-sentence. Don't you understand? I can't. Can't what? You never explain. How am I supposed to understand anything if you never say anything? Why don't you ever talk? Say something. But she doesn't. Venting my anger at her feels satisfying. It feels wrong to take so much satisfaction in it, but I can't stop. Not wanting to face my anger head on, Rin turns around to steadfastly look out of my window, even though there's nothing to look at. The worst of my ire gone, I shut up as I can't be bothered to keep on yelling at the back of her head, so silence finally returns. I try to discern some hints of her reaction through my adrenaline-distorted vision. My feedback was not the best kind, but I hope Rin got the clue that she just can't ignore everything else whenever she feels like it. I'd hate it if she didn't. She never ever listens to anything. She's so unaffected by the world around her. Not this time, it seems. Her body is shaking like from holding back tears, but I already know that Rin is not crying. Her indifference made me so furious. Now that it's gone, I'm at a loss. I wonder, did I go too far? I'd say Hisao has a right to be angry, but at the same time you should know that Rin is not quite, she's really bad with the whole communication thing. I mean, surely he knows that for a fact. Look, go away, Hisao. Her voice is tiny and tired as she says this, but I hear the words clear as day. What is there to say anymore? This is my room. The blunt, hollow remark is a fitting conclusion for this unpleasant discussion, as that became an even more unpleasant and very one-sided yelling match. After a moment of collecting herself, Rin just gives up. I can see it from the way she slumps her shoulders and walks out. Even though she deliberately looks in the other direction, I can see how she's biting the corner of her lip so hard it might start bleeding if she won't stop. As she makes her exit, I realize that she left the door open when she came in, and my yelling must have echoed around the dome and hallways. Ooh, I sigh, and now that she's gone, I am left alone with my guilt. As the thumping in my chest slowly subdues, anxiety replaces it. That's the thing, you have an outburst of anger, and you'll immediately feel bad. Well, you might not immediately, but it'll come, and then you're just like, ah, shit, I said all those things, I gotta apologize, shit. Even if you feel justified by it, you're just like, no, man, I went too far with that. It's just like, I'm angry, but and it's like, that's the reason for the anger is because of her lack of understanding, but Hisao has a lack of understanding of her as well, so it's kind of mutual on that bit. That's the whole frustration, really, isn't it? It's just like, they just seem so distant from each other, and that's what frustrates him, because he can't figure out why and how to close in that distance. Somehow, I feel that none of this would have ever happened if not for me. And matter how infuriating, unbearable, and outrageous Rin is, she is not the Rin I thought I knew. Rin that I expected Rin to be. It was me who caused all this by talking Rin into taking our chances with the expedition. Am I directly responsible for Rin becoming like she has been for the past weeks? I can't think of any other explanation for her weird behavior than the expedition and all the things that came along with it. Maybe it was the only way that could have brought us closer. All it did was separate us further away from each other, and now beyond the reach of violence. I banged my head hard against the wall. Twice to make sure it hurts. I think it would hurt the first time. You know, the transition music's certainly not fitting after a scene like that. Like do. A headache? I was just thinking, you know, because, well, he banged his head against the wall twice, so I was thinking he's gonna have a headache, and sure enough, a headache is relentlessly thumping against the back of my head as I push open the door into the 22nd corner. Honestly, I thought it was gonna go into the bad ending suddenly there, but then it's like, no, we're not done here yet. I mean, you're still on the right track. That was supposed to happen. It was just that scene had to happen at a later date, because if it happens too early, then you get the bad ending, because he doesn't go to the expedition probably as a result. Apart from that, I'm perfectly calm. After venting on Rin, all that anger that I had bottled inside, it felt like a great weight had been lifted from my heart. The tension that had grasped my mind for the past few weeks faded away without leaving even a shadow behind. In this nearly zen-like state of enlightenment, I realized that perhaps it was a bad idea to yell at her like that. Oh shit. I really meant it, but what good does blowing up like that do? Nothing. I'm not like that. I don't normally yell at people. I don't know why I did yesterday. Sounds like me, really. I don't normally yell at people. It's like my dad, for example. He's always like, rah, 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 so freaking loud with his freaking shouting, just like. And like the few times where I've actually like shout from the shut the fuck up, where I'm actually raising my voice at someone else, it's really completely, it carries power. Just like with my dad, he shouts all the time. So whenever he shouts, it has none of that kind of power. It's like, nope, fucking shut up or anything like that kind of thing. It's more of just like not really take it serious. It's kind of comical because of how often he does it. When you're like me and don't actually do that, when you actually raise your voice angrily, people will actually just be like, fuck man, maybe we should stop being so goddamn loud or something, I don't know. So, anyway, I keep feeling really guilty about it and wanting to take my words back. Rin is probably upset too, even more than my own behavior. Her reaction shocked me. I've always thought of her as unchanging, detached from her surroundings, so that seeing my yelling to get her so upset felt out of place. I wonder if she understands how I feel. Is Rin's world everything she seems to be so absolute and subjective? Absolutely subjective. Yeah. As if she was completely unable to see things from all points of view than her own. But ultimately, is anyone able to do it? Maybe objectively, now just illusions for people who like to think of themselves as compassionate. You know, I think, like, it's impossible to truly 100% see things from someone else's point of view, because, like, if you say, for example, it's like, okay, this person's in this situation, so let's put yourself in that situation in your mind. You're thinking how you would take that situation, not them, because you are not them. You can't 100% truly comprehend it. I mean, maybe if you're like, BFF or whatever with them and just like know them so well that you can literally, understand them to a T, essentially, then it's usually probably not going to have quite as much understanding of the person, even if you feel like it. Like, sometimes I'm just like, oh yeah, I can understand what's going on here with this person and stuff, but I don't know shit, I don't know the person. I mean, like, with Hisao, he's, like, interacting with Rin a lot, but he doesn't quite know her quite as much as, well, he pretty much as well, where he doesn't really know much about her, and that's the frustrating thing. Yeah. Just like art is an illusion for people who think reality is merely a veil for something greater. Even when you stop thinking about the world, that the world resolves around you, or start thinking outside the mythical box, you're just another bigger box that you can't escape. Wait, you're just inside, I mean. Maybe that ultimately makes her like the rest of us. We are all, just living organisms on a rock in the middle of a vast, constantly expanding, ginormous universe. Fascinating.